Okay, week 14. First of all, I greatly enjoyed. My Zoom is not doing what it's supposed to do right now. Okay. I greatly enjoyed this chapter. For Stempels, I really liked the strong mentorship, and through it, how new styles were able to come through on Broadway, and that those were the catalysts for a lot of the shows that I grew up with and grew up singing. In fact, I remember seeing a chorus line with my dad as a kid, so that was neat to read about. I found it intriguing that Stempel highlights that Hal Prince is really the only notable exception to the successful directors in the last third of the century, of the 20th century, being the only one who wasn't a choreographer director, that he was just a director, and being successful, and that a lot of the influential directors who were the choreographer directors were Robbins, Champion, DeMille, Fosse, Kidd, Cole, Bennett, Toon, and Stroman, who also is talked about with Das in their article. I appreciated that Rodgers and Hammerstein continued in their, what was very true to them, and being very open-minded and inclusive, and that they really supported Agnes DeMille, not only as, yes, it was Agnes DeMille. I started second guessing myself. Not only as a choreographer, but they believed in her as a director enough that they had her direct Allegro, which wasn't successful, and they did come in at the end and kind of take over some parts, but they still gave her the full credit for all of the good stuff, which is very impressive for that time frame to really truly support a woman like that. I also found it interesting that when they talked about the choreography and the way that the choreographer directors presented things on stage, it was very ensemble oriented. It was very much a dance, true choreography. And that was really in the 1950s already doing things that off Broadway didn't start doing until the 60s. The fact that there was a lot of acrobatics, especially in like Seven Brides, Seven Brothers, and Guys and Dolls, and West Side Story. There's a lot of acrobatics, and not just traditional dance or styles of dance. And it's not just like popular dances that are being shown through what's going on stage. These are, anyway. Of course, the most successful from off Broadway was Hair, but also a chorus line. You can see some of those things in it. The fact that we're looking at, it's almost following expressionism and avant-garde, in that it's looking at the inside. And again, like I said last week, liminal space that we all get pulled into, all wondering. And the fact that it's a good ending, but it's not a happily ever after ending. Chorus line very much is, yes, it's happy for now, we're excited for them now, but we've seen the whole show that this is temporary. This does not have longevity for them. This is only the happy ending until they're not in a show anymore, and then they may never be. This could be their last show. You never know it's your last show until it's your last show, and that's where we're kind of left at the end of Chorus Line. It also opened doors, and I think it made it more ritualistic and transformative than musicals were before, and truly integrated in a way that even Oklahoma didn't quite achieve, because for instance, when we see them talking about West Side Story and how Maria's twirling literally transitions into the dance scene from her bedroom, and that there is just a non-stop flow of the choreography from scenes is just really impressive. And I included Fame, Cat, Stomp, and Evita in shows that follow this quality. We have the one that came to my mind is Che and Evita dancing in her dream sequence, and then that really feels like this, or inspired by this to me. As far as Das article, it focuses mainly around Susan Strawman, and who directed who did Choreography of Crazy for You and Showboat, the revival, and then did the choreography and directed The Producers and Contact. And Contact is the one that this mostly focuses on. Now, I will say, part of, I think, why so many people were trying to figure out with such rigor or such were so excitable is because it didn't fit into what was categorized at that time as what was popular. But also, we like things in our categories. We do like our things in our boxes. And when things don't fit in a box, it short circuits us. Even if it's something that we've come to understand or don't understand but accept, it still cuts out, you know. And I think that there was a lot of that going on. But I think it's also that Broadway is very cutthroat and competitive. And by Contact, which is much more as a danceicle, as they said, which I found that very fun, winning Tonys, that meant that musicals and the what was considered a musical and what was considered appropriate for that and wasn't just dance weren't winning the awards. And that had to have made so many people so angry. But the fact that they came together and said, you know what, it wasn't a musical, but things like this are theatrical performances and should be able to win awards and should get these categories or should be able to be presented. And so they did the special theatrical event category after this, which I thought was beautiful, which allows performances which don't fit into a specific mold to still have the opportunities to have success and recognition through their compatriots. That's week 14.